Talk.
All right, baby. Here we go. I think we're live on audio. We're live on video. This is the first time. This is episode 13, but this is really episode 1 because this is the first time that I got the piece of equipment that I needed to make this camera system properly work. We got our nice fire going on. And so this is our first official episode where we don't have a crappy setup and you can actually watch the whole video. Audio will be as good as ever, I guess. But yeah, welcome to episode 13 of Canadian Talk. I wanted to start today's episode with a poem that I found that I really liked. I'll post it in writing, I think, on the Facebook as well because it takes a little bit of thinking. So I came across this poem here. Here it is. Firefly is the name of the poem. Out there in the ether, live in inhales, not exhales. Follow thoughts, so smoke signals. Fuck, of course I would fuck it up. Follow thoughts. Oh my God. I gotta restart. No, I don't gotta restart. This is all written in the poem here, folks, just so you know. It could be better. Hold on. Firefly. Out there. In the ether. Live in inhales, not exhales. Follow thoughts. Smoke signals to fate. It could be better. But will it ever be? Consciousness firefly. Trying to keep everything lit for the kids. Yeah, I like that poem a lot that I found. So I wanted to share that with anyone who happens to listen early on because that one really, for some reason, it pumped me up. So everybody might feel differently about it, but yeah, I'm happy to be back here. We got episode 13 of the podcast. I got so much to talk about. I've been putting this off. It's 6 a.m. in the morning. We're rocking it. Living the life as usual. But yeah, we're here for episode 13. We got so much to talk about because I've been skipping weeks like crazy because I've been building a bathroom from scratch at one of the properties, running some 3-inch drain line and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I've been busy doing that. Fire is looking nice. Smoky though, it's a bit windy out today. The camera keeps jumping back and forth between night vision modes, so it might do that. But anyway, I wanted to just say what was wrong with the cameras all this time is I have this camera system that oh my God, that is literally, what the hell? Big thing. God, freaking annoying. I need to get a proper cover for my chimney stack so the wind doesn't completely mess up the flame. Yeah, so my camera, it's just a video only camera, and it needed a special microphone for it, like a self-powering mic that plugs into a plug-in and then also plugs into the system. So I was taking some time to figure that out because I didn't think I needed it at first because I thought I could synchronize it manually, but I was just having too much trouble with the system. Yeah, because the system is like cameras that feeds right to a main server or whatever that stores everything. So yeah, it needs its own mic. It needs its own mic so that I'm able to sync it with the separate, the actual voice recording system that has several mics. Because here's another thing I learned. I don't want to get too into the weeds with technical stuff because it's boring. But is that with a regular computer, you can't just use 2 sound inputs. Like you'd think, okay, it has 4 USB ports. You should just be able to plug into those and the computer is fucking set up to receive that shit. But it isn't. You have to, it's only set up to receive one at a time in most cases. So you have to get like a physical audio mixer, which is like a thing that you plug stuff into, and then it creates a single input, and then you put it into your computer. Or you can get virtual. They call it like virtual audio mixers. So, and then you can put in several things into the USB and then create a single output to. So anyway, I figured it out. But yeah, I'm drinking Pabst for today's show because simply they had a better deal than Great Western this week. But yeah, thanks to Great Western for making great beer. I hope to hear from you. Woo! I like your beer. All right, and I've got stuff to talk about in front of me, in front of me. So I'm trying to. The thing I hate the worst about the internet is like, if you, especially a video or something you're watching, if it's super cringe, I think I can't handle it. I click off it right away. If I don't trust a person's confidence, like with what they're saying and stuff, I immediately kind of just go like, yeah, I don't know. If this guy's not confident in himself, why am I going to listen to what he has to say? Like, maybe if it's funny, but yeah. I'm just getting replies on the main podcast network here anyway. Oh, it's another podcaster is worried about tracking stats. Even though none of us get more than fucking 1,000 views anyway. No idea why we're doing that. maybe one day podcasting will properly catch on. It's already catching on pretty significantly, but it's a new form of radio, where everybody can communicate, filter information so that we all get the correct information. Oh man, I'm looking at my list now, and my brain is lighting up. Jeez. Okay. So, oh my God, I don't know if I have the energy to talk about this shit today. I got that poem out, so that's good enough. Fuck. Some of the stuff I'm about to talk about today is a little heavy. Where's my fucking list? I got lists. I got pictures. Just take screenshots of funny stuff when I find it a lot of the time. Oh man, what do we got here? Kind of stinky like smoke in the garage right now because of that goddamn fire. Just a piece of shit. So, oh God, this must be what, like, so I haven't done too much like comedy yet, but I wonder sometimes what it would feel like to bomb, like to be at a loss of words in front of a crowd or something like that. And I imagine it would just be the worst punishment you could ever imagine. That would just be horrendous. What else? Gosh, like, been watching Theo Vaughn's podcast a lot. He's amazing. Anybody who doesn't know that, go check it out. It's called This Past Weekend. I love to listen to. I have all these different podcasts I listen to for different veins of emotion. He's definitely the introspective and goofy stand-up comic out there. He really is funny when he analyzes things, and he seems to never draw a blank. He seems to always have something so new to say. So yeah, go check out his podcast This Past Weekend if you want to see somebody who's better than me at this. But I do appreciate you for tuning in anyway if you're listening to some of this. Yeah, give that poem a read. It's that, and really, there's a lot of weird words in it, so you kind of got to think about it. But that's what I like about it, I guess. So what do we got? There was that kid Kyle. Okay, I don't want to get too political too quick. Okay, so there was the kid Kyle. Watch Ben Shapiro's breakdown on that. The kid that had to shoot some people and stuff. It's upsetting. So if you want a breakdown on that, don't listen to me. Go and see what Ben Shapiro has to say about it. He really has the full breakdown, all the video from the proper angles and everything. So that's where you should go for your source on that. But my opinion is of something that I maybe will say. I don't really want to say it even right now. But, watch his 20-minute breakdown and then make a judgment for yourself. But The kid was just trying to protect some people and stuff. You never. And then people got shot and died, which is tragic. It's interesting. One other interesting fact is that the criminal record thing. They say that the shooter was the only one without a criminal record, which is interesting. But yeah, watch the videos. He was being chased down and stuff. I don't know. So yeah. The other thing is with my diet. My diet has been really good lately. I've been eating so good. Like, the old ball and chain there has been really taking cooking seriously, and it's been awesome. We made a soup the other day that truly is amazing. Changed my life. There's some soups that you can make that are just amazing. They combine all the flavors into a single flavor, and it's amazing. Like, the other thing I'm toying with, but at least now, like, I'm far enough back from the camera, but at least now the audio will be synced with the video. But the other thing that I want to zoom in the camera a little bit better, so maybe it doesn't show so much unnecessary background. I don't know. I just have it set up for a guest, and I just don't really ever feel like changing it. Oh, man. If anybody's looking for any other references on people to follow online too, Tim Dillon is another guy I've been following most recently, who has a lot of good thoughts and stuff, pretty well articulated. So what do I have here? I have, my diet. Yeah, so we had a soup. Bunch of stuff was in it. Man, it was amazing. You don't want to the soups that you come in the cans are good, but they really are selling soup short. Like, yeah, you got to try that soup, like soup made from scratch in that hot pot, baby. Like, ooh, ooh. It's like just combining it's like digesting on the outside of your body. You put it into a bowl, start that shit digesting on the outside of your body. Then your body that's easy for your body. Take a step out of the chain. So yeah, that was good. But 2 whole chickens in this soup that we made in a hot pot. Freaking whole cube of cream cheese, just craziness. All these cool ingredients. I loved it. Man, what else? Poetry is quite pretentious. I hope that nobody thinks that is too pretentious that I open with a poem. I just really liked it. I hate that poetry has to come off pretentious, because it's nice. Yes, I purposely used the most simple adjective I could think of. Adjective? Fucking grammar. What does adjective mean again? What does adjective mean? I know what it means. Like, it's just like noun, but yeah, but see, yeah, adjective is like kind of more specific noun, I guess, or something like that. Yeah. Drinking some beer. I like beer. Fucking, I eat a lot of bread. It's weird because people say that bread is bad for you, but for some reason, my body really agrees with it. It's kind of like, I don't even know. It's like, isn't everything how you feel? I mean, I know that they say diet is important, but if you have a shitty diet, shouldn't you know it? Like, you should feel it, usually. I know that there's certain things that can happen to your organs that take more long term, but you should know it. It's kind of an internal thing that you should manage yourself. Oh, man. God, I got so many things I want to talk about. I don't have too much of the time today, but this is episode 1, like official episode 1 with proper equipment, but episode 13, unlucky episode 13. I only have like about an hour to talk today, but I do want to break into quite a few topics because there's tons here, but I can leave them for next episode too. Where's my pen? Yeah, tons of good podcasts out there, people. Just been listening to them like crazy. If you want comedy, go to Two Bears One Cave, Whiskey Ginger. If you want information, go to Joe Rogan Experience, kinda like, and he's got a lot of good opinions and sometimes expert level academics on there. You want emotional, you want introspective, go check out Theo Vaughn. You want stupid and gross, go check out Tom Segura. You can Google any of these names, by the way, and their podcasts will come up. And that's how you find their podcasts. So Yeah, so Tom Segura has a podcast where he like watches funny videos and stuff. They're usually kind of gross, but it's just a stand-up genius. So it doesn't really matter what he's watching. That's the whole point. I would mention Chris D'Elia's podcast. Congratulations, but he is, as I had mentioned in the past, but I guess I'll talk about it again now. He's kind of off the radar because they're saying that he's a fucking groomer or whatever because he's talking to 17 and 16-year-old girls and stuff, which is very, very fringe and very edgy. Jesus Christ, what a rapist. It's a tough one, guys. Yeah. Got to make the call somewhere. So we got Will Smith. So I'm just going to kind of bulletproof through some of these things, and I can talk about them more later, but I just want to mention them for now so people like hear about it. And this can be a good hour where I'm just firing new funny things. If you haven't seen the interview with the Australian named Jonathan with Donald Trump, that's a very interesting interview. So people are saying that people like some of my friends, and then my opinion of what I'm seeing on the internet is these people are saying that the Jonathan did well and defamed Trump quite well and made him look stupid and stuff when they were talking about statistics, I think, to do with coronavirus. I'm not so sure. He was clearly defaming him, but and like trying to ask really tough questions and then kind of interrupting him and not really giving him proper respect to answer questions. But I guess maybe because he didn't want to let him go into any scripts or anything. That was all prepared and ironclad and practiced. So that makes sense. I'm not saying he was just a shitty interviewer, total defame artist or anything. But yeah, go watch the video. It's, I think, 25, 30 minutes. And then just, what are some highlights? It's been a month since I even watched the video. Frick, I've been skipping podcasts every last 2 weeks or so. In the debate, like, right? That's what it turned into. In the interview, though, what are some of the highlights? Like, they had stats that were appearing to be disagreeing with each other, and they each thought they had the right stats. And that's the thing, is they each had points, but there just wasn't enough time to really break into everything. They were just kind of barking at each other and using like high school yard debate tactics to kind of put the other down. And the Australian guy was quite good at that. Like with how, yeah. But so again, I want to reiterate though, I'm just talking about. I'm not a political pundit. I have got people I bring on for that, which I'll also hopefully have Daniel on soon. I want to talk a little bit more about Daniel again soon. But he's a political pundit, and those are the people you look to for that. Yeah, the schoolyard tactics and the statistics that were appearing to contradict each other, and that so that was what was going on with that video. I'm not really sure, but I never thought that we would interview, just from a general sense. I hope some people can agree with me. I never thought that we would. Okay, so I'm not pro-Trump. I'm not pro our prime minister either. But I don't really believe. So just to summarize again, I think I've done this before, but I don't really believe too much in criticizing high-ranking civil servants because they're making large sacrifices typically to do the jobs they're doing. Like Trudeau was born to do what he did. He's like a generational politician or whatever. But it is a sacrifice, You put yourself in the crosshairs of the public, and it takes some time to reflect to imagine what that might be like. Most people who have never been in the public eye don't actually even begin to have a seed of an idea of what that might be like and the type of sacrifice it is and how challenging it can be to be a politician. But anyway, so what I'm doing here is I'm not being pro-Trump. I'm just being pro-leader and seeing the tactics that the media are now using to defame our leaders. So that's really the nest of it. I hope that makes sense. So that was why I didn't love the interview. Yeah. So that's 20 minutes. Thanks everybody who's listening so far. So I've got my Facebook page that's on there. They're all under the same name, Canadian Talk. You can Google Canadian Talk and it'll come up. Canadian Talk with Stephan podcast. Just spell my name right with an A, or else it will go on to the other guy, the NBA player, when his name is spelled with an E at the end there. And he has all kinds of stuff going on, too, in his own podcast. So, So yeah, Google that. You can just Google me and you'll find my website and all that kind of stuff where everything is posted and there's information on the business and what not the business but the business of what we're doing here, what I'm doing here, putting words out on the wire and seeing how they settle, you know. Trying to give information to people, trying to be a filter, trying to be a sieve shaker for the internet. That's really what I'm trying to do. Yep, yep. There's a lot of people though. You know how it is though. Even just for me, like with my limited perspective. Just before I get into any of these other major topics, with my limited perspective, even of the public eye, it's tough. Oh, dang it! I forgot what I was gonna say. I lost my train of thought. Shyster. Uh, yeah. But taking criticism from people you don't know can be tough. Um, I was saying that I was liking the analogy I was coming up with that it might be a little pretentious or narcissistic, but what I'm doing here is I'm being a sieve shaker. That's like a where you shake dirt and get the proper grains and they stay in little pans. I'm trying to do that a little bit for information and primarily guide people to go and see people who do current events who are funny and have kind hearts and stuff like that. Not promoting any narrative or anything like that. So yeah, the interview with Trump, Will Smith, doing his interview on his wife's show called Red Table. If you want to have another funny 10 minutes, so just go check out that video of Will Smith with the Red Table thing. I want to be talking with somebody in person, like a friend, about these topics in the future. So that's why I don't want to go into them too in depth, because I will want to ask guests in the future about some of these topics that are really funny. But yeah, Will Smith's wife, Jada Smith, cheated on him and stuff, and she has a show that where she brought him on and was like trying to like be an she wasn't really apologizing. So check it out. Everybody has their own opinions on it. Oh, and if you want a really good, I can't remember what episode it is, but Segura and Bert Kreischer do a breakdown of the Will Smith Red Table thing on Two Bears One Cave. It's pretty funny. If you were to Google Tom Segura and Will Smith Red Table, you could find the people that I follow's opinions on this, and it's quite funny. They have very good opinions because Tom. So just to give you a little information about this comedian I follow, Tom. He and his wife are both comedians, and they have a very good relationship. So he's pretty good person to look up to in terms of that type of stuff, like just your person to person wife type relationships. And so he comments on, because this is a wife type relationship problem there that's happening on Red Table. So I think he's a good person to look to for an opinion on that. But yeah. Oh, and then the other thing I wanted to talk about, but it really ties into the Jimmy Kimmel thing, is, and this is cancel culture. Man, I didn't like how Nick Cannon called out. So Nick Cannon, they're saying, is the fault of what's kind of ruining. And how his name slipped my mind. The talk show host there. Hold on, Jesus Christ, Jimmy Kimmel. He did that blackface skit that was on Comedy Central and all that type of stuff, and then Nick Cannon has put purposely for his own ratings and shit pushed him in the crosshairs of the cancel culture and everything when he doesn't deserve it. It was in the year 2000 and yeah, I think at the time, I mean Chris Rock I think okayed it or whatever. A lot of that's what the Hollywood people are saying. So come on. And then, so yeah, Chris D'Elia, he's it's unfortunate. I hope to see his comeback, and hear what's going on with him. Like, I hope it wasn't anything really bad. But I'm sure he was just attracted to around 20 to 18-year-old girls, like every man who's ever lived or whatever. And then there's even Brian Callen, the other guy that I follow, that he's having his life dismantled too because of a Me Too thing. There's a ton of it. Oh, and this leads into the other topic. Boom! Podcasting, baby. Here we go. So I've got a guy who's in a band that I know locally. I'm not going to say his name, but he's in a band that's called, like, not One Bad Son, but The Dirty South, The Dead South, something like that. And, yeah, The Dead South. And so I hope to maybe talk with somebody there. Oh, we got advertisements. I wanted to play this one really good song for like 2 seconds. I shouldn't get flagged if it's just a preview. Yeah, like there he is, and it's like, yeah, I hope to talk about, see what's going on there, because there's two sides of the story to everything. Yeah, so I was, yeah, so Me Too movements and all that. It's good stuff, but sometimes you got to hear both sides of the story. What's the other one? I got Elon Musk written on here because I wanted to talk about how it's interesting with the stock market, how I don't think that CEOs should be allowed to do whatever they want. He does a lot of crazy shit that fucks with people's money in terms of the stock prices and stuff. I don't really think that's very ethical. I don't really know where's the law and ethics contracts for that kind of shit, you know. Oh man, I've been working like, if anybody's ever seen Pineapple Express, I've been doing some side jobs just for fun as a process servant where I bring legal documents to people. I mean, I had done delivery at one point in my life. I was a delivery man for quite a while. When I was first in college and stuff, and right after high school, just for make some money for university, really. And then I did engineering jobs in those summers after I started engineering. But yeah, I was a delivery driver and stuff. And I was even a delivery driver for a little while after I graduated engineering, just because of financial reasons. You got to grind, but sometimes there's just, you got to follow the money, even if it's not the greatest career, and then get yourself established. Because my opinion is, I think folks need to, like any young person, I think needs to get equity as soon as they can. Like, get not equity, yeah, equity, I guess, so solid equity in the form of an asset or something really early on, so that you buy yourself into the game. Like, there, if you've ever seen on any of those investment shows, that when they say, "Oh, you can't sit at the table, you don't have, your hedge fund doesn't have our minimum 200 million in it, or more, 3 billion, um, whatever the limits may be." So you've got to, you really want to buy yourself into the game, and owning a house is a basic step of being an adult. So anybody out there, like I personally, if you want to know my recommendation, buy a house as soon as you can. Make sure that it's has rental potential. That's that. That's step one in investing, and then it's complicated after that. So yeah, Daniel, he's a guy. He's a political pundit that I brought on. I've been trying to understand. I wanted to just be, good with him early on when I first met him, because I was just respectful of his internet presence, and what he's, the type of work he's put into the media when I'm so fresh and stuff. But I've been trying to, I don't like to stick my nose in things too much, especially not legal stuff. But I've been trying to understand what he's been going through with that a little better, and um, yeah, I wish him the best in all of that. But I'll help in any way I can. But I really do. So by that I mean, when I have him on and we talk about things that I think that he's right about, and that sometimes he gets in trouble for. I do think, I'm not going to say like every element of me being in media, you can be, agitation can help get people listening and stuff. So I'm not, and he was a comedian at one point, so he has that good skill in knowing how to get people to listen. Because that's the best element of comedy. I'm learning a lot of different truths to comedy, but one of the biggest tricks is to say something outrageous and then work your way out of it. And yeah, so that's really cool. Actually, that reminds me, is I have a thing written here about what I think of a modern day comedian. I actually wrote this with a voice to text thing, so I'm just gonna read it, and it'll sound like I'm saying it, but I'm actually just reading it. When I think of comedians, it's kind of complex, the way their involvement is in like society. So if you were to talk to someone about geology, and people who know the most about geology, it would be people that are out there actually looking at the rocks. They're out on site. These are people that we would consider geologists. Okay, and they're sociologists, right? Sometimes they're social workers. They have a degree in sociology, or maybe even more, masters. And then they become a social worker. So they meet all these people, but it's always on a certain end of the spectrum or whatever. I think that comedians are the true professors of sociology. So I'm jumping ahead here. I'm not reading now. But what was I going to say here? So I'll continue with my reading now. Yeah, but if you're going to be a sociologist, or somebody who claims to have any knowledge in macro sociology, so what I mean, I guess I'm speaking specifically about macro sociology, and involving herd mentality, and basically what we are as humans, which is a herd. We're a migratory animal, who happens to also be carnivorous, I guess, but we're similar to, we got a little bit of both, whatever. We're a fucking monkey. you know, our species, if you want to comment on our species as humans, you'd have to look to a comedian. Comedians are like, and also I don't want to sound too pretentious or because I know I call myself a comedian, but I don't want to sound like I'm boasting too much. But this is really what I admire about them. So I want to outline it so people understand, and it can be more out there because I do see comedians as a cliche version, like not a cliche version, but a like a sacrilegious, like a one of those types or anti um, status quo type preacher, where they're not. Comedians are preachers. They are spreading happiness. They're trying also to spread information and have people get better and learn how to sort through ideas with happiness. A lot of people are too emotionally tied to their ideas in nowadays. I was talking about this with the old ball and chain the other day again, but about how so people are emotionally tied to their ideas. Like, that okay, not even to get into how the R word is cliche to say, you can't say it now, but it used to be when people would talk, that's how they shared information and found out if it was right. Now, okay, so this is what has happened to mess it up. The internet is now the place where everything is correct there. Go there, that's the answer. So people don't value person-to-person communication. It's almost immediately standoffish. Like where do you get your information? I don't believe it. When like or they think or just the idea of actually even discussing different ideas, they get upset that you're even talking about it with them because they have their mind so made up that they're upset about even talking about it. And that's not good. Like the internet is right a lot, and it's good. It's got lots of information, but people need to be able to talk, and also people need to not be so upset when they're wrong. You can't be upset when you're wrong. Like that, you should be happy when you're wrong, because we were talking about it in terms of asking questions, like people simple questions. Like, because I find it funny that when people don't know how to do simple things. So like I like to. Some people would call it poking fun, and I used to do it more when I was younger. We were talking about how I would do it when I was younger, and it's a guilty pleasure and stuff, and it can piss people off. But if you're around the right people, the type of people like that are like comedians, in my opinion, it won't upset them. And if you're like, and I also found not only just comedians but scientists too. Anyone who has a solid sense of self, they can always roll with punches well and realize that life is just a process of learning. And as soon as you consider yourself an expert, you're an idiot. So, yeah, so that's 40 minutes. I want to thank everybody who's still listening. Thank Great Western and for the delicious beer. Pabst, I don't know. Thank you guys too, because yours is typically Pabst and Bohemian are pretty good and typically good deals, like cheaper than Great Western sometimes, even though it's made fucking in the same city. Molson Canadian I've been loving too. I know Molson owns all these companies anyway, but I've been loving Molson lately too. Very refreshing, kind of like a sister to Kokanee in a way. Yeah, man, I love beer. So what else we got? Man, I guess machine gun. I said I was going to talk about poker and the poker game that I used to run, but I don't really know if I want to talk about it even right now. But yeah, I don't know if I do. So anyway, I was glad to share that opinion about comedians. That's how I feel. I feel comedians are the true sociologists, and they really do have a good nuanced perspective on things. And it keeps depression at the wayside. You don't want to have any of those depressive thoughts. People who are pulling levers and trying to steer you down paths. Comedians are not doing that. The only path they're trying to steer you down is laughter. So, yeah, man. I don't know. I'm up here. I'm just up here. I'm just out here. Just like them, though. I'm just practicing talking. I think speaking is a good form of cardio exercise. Cardio is very good for you. Your voice is very important. I'm just a failed athlete. So I'm lost, just like any other person. My athletics was my art for a long time, and it goes away. It's still there, but you don't. Just like a failed business, or if you get bored with your, the feeling that you used to have about the sport, and it goes away a bit, at a certain point. I have a lot of empathy for professional athletes. I know I've talked about this before, and I've given mad respect to all the professional athletes from where I'm from, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and stuff. I like to talk about them, all the greats who graduated out of our city. Um, I try to mention all of my mess up stories. I mess up teams all the time, but yeah, to all you guys, great respect. Um, yeah, you can feel lost after you lose your main purpose, and but what you have to do is you have to just refocus, change your perspective, look at the positives that you can utilize in your future life to hopefully find success and happiness. Right, that's the goal. Oh, I got all these skits listed here. I'm gonna start doing some video skits, kind of like Barons. I think his name is Josh Barons or something. Barons, spelled Berens. He's really funny at doing short form skits, but they also go kind of political sometimes with their skits as well. But just really really funny. So I've got some skits that I'm gonna start doing in the near future here. That should be pretty funny. Yeah, lots of good stuff to talk about. I'm going to save the rest for next episode. I think that's good for today, unless I can have something come across my mind here to finish this off. I'm going to be talking with Daniel and some great guests in the future here, about all kinds of things. And I'm going to be trying to be more funny and a little more edgy, now that I got my roots in the ground a little bit with this stuff. But yeah, I'll be talking with some good people, trying to make them laugh. So you'll notice that in these episodes, I'll be just trying to make them laugh, but also trying to get them to be comfortable enough to tell their stories. Because really, you can never be comfortable enough to tell your story unless you really are very careful, like shooting an arrow out of a bow, into somebody's personality to pop what they want to say. I was watching this interview with Theo Vaughn and David Arquette. I was very disappointed to see how kind of stoned up he was, but whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. That might be his personality, but I saw David in the early portions of the interview, very interestingly, fire a few warning shots, essentially saying some silly things to make sure that the interviewer, who happened to be Theo Vaughn, wasn't going to challenge him on any of the pillars, maybe stupidity pillars that he has. Like he thinks he's one of those guys that think, oh God, I'm so glad I remember this. This is a podcast, baby. It comes out. It was Diet Coke. He was like talking about that he thought Diet Coke was good for you, and I was like, man, Theo, it's just warning shots. I don't like it when people are doing they do that. They're noticeably not derogatory, but they're noticeably not antagonistic either. But when you're attacking something, they're clearly feeling something out in an exploitatory fashion. They want to exploit based on the holes they can find in a person's emotional state or what this person will allow them to do. I really don't like that. I think people should strive to just be their best, not just be the minimum or whatever they can get away with. So anyway, already. So thanks for listening. That's me. That's 50 minutes. I'm going to synchronize this. So watch the YouTube, because the video and the audio will actually be proper. My words will match my face. Yep. Got lots of wood in here. Fire failed again. I'm getting a phone call from a private number, which is interesting, on a Sunday. Oh, and it stopped. That was kind of funny. Maybe it was a wrong number. All right, so that's good for me. That's good for today. This is Canadian Talk with me, with Stephan. Saskatoon-based podcast that is run out of a studio that I built myself with my own bare hands because I am not rich. So I had to do that. And I'm an engineer, so I could do that. Thanks everybody for listening. I'm going to probably do more poetry and stuff. I'm realizing that other than just the physical body and sport, appreciation that I have for that, I have an appreciation for words too. So I'm really starting to, I always have, but I want to start putting it on the forefront of what I can do here. So, all right, everybody, I hope I wasn't cringeworthy. I hope I was okay to listen to. I hope everybody has a good day. And good luck in whatever you're doing. I am trailing off here, but I'm just happy to get on a podcast again. I really am. And every time I get one of these done, it just makes me happy. Because I really do think that we all need to achieve more goals in life, and that's the cure to depression. So I love you all out there. And man, I'm still looking for good intro and exit lines. I got a friend of mine who's working on like a mix up, a mashup probably of some funny sounds. So it'll be similar to Two Bears One Cave and Congratulations intro videos and audios. So it should be really, really good. Yeah, it's getting cold. I'm getting cold. Winter's coming here where we are. So all right, thanks for listening. The fucking 10 people, and I hope to grow this, and I hope to keep being as smart as I can with everything I talk about, so that everybody can just sit and love listening to this. I want you to watch me too, because I think that nonverbal expressions and video is also a part of this, even if it's just me sitting in a room. Oh, I totally forgot how I was going to start. That was why I was pausing at the beginning of the podcast. I had a funny intro joke that I just thought of now, but I'm going to save it for episode 14. Oh, man, I might be blowing up the balloon too much, and then it's going to pop and be shitty. Okay, that's it. Unlucky episode 13. Peace out, everybody, even though I hate saying that. I've been burping way too much this episode, too. Sorry for all these burps, everybody out there. Yep, there's 40 minutes of entertainment for you. I hope you're driving. I hope you're loving life. I hope you're happy. Hope you started your day with a shot of vodka. Whatever you do to loosen the wheels. All right. It's okay. Just don't go overboard. But just keep on going. All right. Bye. Thanks for listening, and any questions or concerns for the show, as well as voice recordings and voice messages that you'd like us to listen to, or advertisement inquiries, please forward those along to CanadianTalkWithStephan@gmail.com. Thanks. We also have a website, Stephanjackson.ca, where you can find a back catalog of all our episodes, and we're also on YouTube, where you can find the video versions.
Canadian Talk.